here. Hello. We will do our intro in a second. Hopefully we can be both seen and heard. But we're also using a different platform to stream than we have been for the past few weeks, months. So if anything looks different, sounds different, that might be why. And also please let us know. That's all I got. I'll say that again as more people start to come see us, because it is early. So if anything looks different, sounds different. Okay, from your iPad it looks and what sounds good.
Yep.
Do we look okay on your iPad? We're okay, I guess. Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships. This is our weekly live stream where we record our podcast, the audio version of which hits all major podcast apps every Friday. We are here 7 minutes early. If you're here for the live stream and don't like idle chit chat, are you lost? But you also have time if you need to go do something else. If you're here after the stream, but before I put in timestamps,
go get a drink. Go get something to munch on. Go to the bathroom. Whatever.
Daddy says. If you are here after the live stream, but before I put in timestamps and you don't like idle chit chat, fast forward by about at least 7 minutes. So, thank you, Ben. Yeah, we're using OBS this time to see if we can stop the out of sync issue. We just don't know what is causing it. I'm going to say hi to folks. Hi, Basie. Hi, Kitty. Hi, Claire. Hi, Ben. Hi, Cheeky Luna. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Tayshu. Hi, Bunny. Hi, HM.
How does Bob Seger figure into all this?
Bob Seger's music? Bob Seger is the singer.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I mean, maybe Bob Singer is playing in the background.
Maybe.
And making it hard to focus on what we're saying. And I understand that. We're okay with the aggression. Okay. We just want to understand it. That's all. So we can commiserate. Mm-hmm. Hi, Audrey. Hi, Mickey.
Chaotic here today, too.
It's chaotic here like every day.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad the sync is looking better this time, but XSplit would have a point where if we didn't use it for a while, when we didn't use it for a while, when we came back, the sync was minimal, and then over time it got worse and worse.
Yeah.
So if we're on our second third-party streaming platform and it's happening, that would tell me that it's not the platform, right? It's us.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's what I thought. That made sense in my head, Bunny, that you were you were playing music and then couldn't get it to turn. Yeah, I get it. Hi, Dorina. So we're here for the butt rub.
Yeah.
What you got for the butt rub? What are you going to do to rub my butt? Please rub my butt. I love it when my butt gets rubbed. Not just by anybody, though. I mean, that'd be creepy. But, there are certain people who can absolutely rub my butt.
I'll rub your butt with one of my paddles.
Okay. Can I grind your stump? Please consider this one of your reminders to please call them.
My intention is to do it after we're done, yeah.
We paid to have our stumps ground. Somebody needs to come and grind on our stumps, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I don't want a refund. I want my stumps ground.
Well, yeah. Same.
But I'm wondering if they don't have good administrative help or organization.
Beginning to wonder about that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't tempt me with a full-time job where I can whip an office into shape.
Right.
Whew. If the people are cool and the job is cool, I like that kind of stuff. Please let me organize you and keep you so, and then make it so that you absolutely 100% need me and the place will fall apart without me. Because that makes me feel whole as a human being. That is why I should be in therapy. So, anyway.
But yeah, no, I intend to call them after we get done here.
And then after our stumps get ground, will somebody lay our kitchen floor? I'm going to find some innuendos here. Were you listening to Bob Seger yesterday or the other day? You had you had something going, and there was a lot of good music on it, but I wasn't really noticing the artist.
Oh, I was listening to my 80s mix.
Okay. So Bob Seger could have been in there conceivably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard Bad Bad Leroy Brown, I don't even know if that's the name of the song or if it's some.
Oh, that was later. That was after I was sitting.
That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay.
When you were sitting there.
When I was working outside,
Yeah, I don't know what
I
you're
was listening to my 80s mix. When I came in and I was sitting at my desk and I was doing work, that was Jim Croce, Don McLean, and Cat Stevens.
Yeah, hearing Leroy Brown immediately makes me think of my dad. That was totally like the music my dad liked to listen to. And much like you, he would walk around just singing. So. Hi, Kim. Hi, Rara. What else for Butt Rub? Lola made her opinions known when we recorded next Monday's episode. So, just know that Lola agrees with us. She thinks we're right. It's so good, right, Rara? I do love that song. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't ever.
I just like him in general. He was such a good.
I probably know other songs of his and just don't know it's him.
Time in a Bottle.
Yeah, you can say titles, and I have to hear them.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have to remember, I was introduced to that in my most formative years on a radio or on a cassette tape.
Yeah.
So that I did not control. So I would hear it and know I liked it, but have no information about it.
You know, they're talking about some cover songs. One of the best cover songs that I have heard and I love is Disturbed's Sound of Silence.
Oh my God, that is iconic.
That is such an amazing cover.
That is so good. Yeah. I don't watch Kelly Clarkson's show or whatever because y'all know I don't watch that. I just don't watch TV. But apparently that's a thing she does regularly. I guess Kelly Clarkson will do a cover, and Kelly Clarkson has some freaking chops. She was the original American Idol for apparently good reason. Most of the time, not always, most of the time when I hear her covers, I'm like, oh, this is either as good or almost as good as the original. A couple of times it's good because she's good at what she does, and I'm like, no, I still prefer the original. Like Chapel Roan. Like, people can sing Chapel Roan songs and do it well, but it's not.
Not her.
It's not.
Doesn't have that. Yeah, it doesn't have that energy that.
Yeah, exactly. So, now I want to listen to Sound of Silence and some Chapel Roan.
Right.
I get, she hasn't been in my algorithmic feed recently, but every time something, whether somebody's just using the sound or it is actually Chapel Roan, I'm like, I just stop and I'm like, I have to watch. So, hi, Silent. Okay. Hi, Andre. Okay. It is 1:00. We will get started. As you can probably tell from the title, we're going to do an Am I the Asshole response episode, but the kink version, because I only want to do it if it's about kink stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing. If you enjoy this, we love a thumbs up. If you like it enough to want to come back for more, please consider subscribing.
And go ahead and ring that notification bell, get updates and new content.
Let's do what Daddy says. And if you really like what we do, want to help us keep doing more of it, what are words?
What are we doing? Why are we here?
Now, that's the existential question I've never answered. Anyway, I'm trying to invite you to join our Patreon. God damn it. We have a Discord server. Everybody's super chill. It's a place where we talk about kink, but we talk about parts of our life. I've been using our new peri and postmenopause channel to just bitch about perimenopause. We also just recorded our monthly behind the scenes podcast episode that we do. And this year we're deep diving into stuff about our relationship. So we talked about stuff that will probably at some point might get mentioned in an episode, but it's not like enough for its own topic. So therefore you get a little bit more into our psyches about our power exchange. If that is of interest to you. So yeah, you can join us at patreon.com/KaylaLords, or the link is down in the description box as always. Okay, you can hit the button. Okay, before we get into any potential rants, I never promise rants, but Reddit is good for a rant or two. I just want to remind you that the free, absolutely 100% free to participate in Dom Sub Dynamic Virtual Summit starts Monday, March 31st. What are dates? And you can still register for, let me say it again, free. If you register for free, you get 24 hours from the time each session plays where you're able to watch it live to see it. There is a paid option if you want lifetime access and other goodies, but every single one of us, including us, we have a session too, who made a session. Our job was to give you something actionable for free, not that bullshit thing that some educators, like vanilla educators, do, where they're like, I'm going to use this time as a commercial, and then the real stuff is over here where you have to pay for it. No. Everybody's session has actual shit you can take away from and try in your own dynamic. We are apparently doing our specialty, which is how to make your dynamic work in the real world. Rara, who is watching live, hi Rara, and as part of the reason we even have this episode, Am I the Asshole stuff, she's got a session on kink comparison. God, everybody go watch that one. Evie has one on consensual non-consent. There's one about dating while kinky. There's one about finding a kink-friendly therapist. There's some good shit. Link in the places. If you have not registered, there is still time to do so. So yeah, please check that out. Okay. Silent was accurate in the live chat saying, I wondered how long it would take before Kayla stumbled on her words. I did not sleep well last night, so I'm pretty sure there will be a lot more stumbling than just the little bit I've done already.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, that's right. You have to do that too.
I missed my...
We're off our...
Yes.
It's consistently we're off our thing. Like our what is the word I want? I don't know. But yeah, you're not getting the chance to do the thing. Am I moving too fast and ignoring you? Are you forgetting?
I have no idea.
Is it both? It's probably both.
I think it's a combination.
It's a combination. Okay.
And just the chaotic day carrying through into this.
Well, yes, that has always been true. Okay.
All right.
These Am I the Asshole questions, or posts, or whatever you want to call them, whatever. 2 came from the BDSM _ AITA, Am I the Asshole, subreddit that is specific to kink stuff, hosted, run, moderated by Rara, and I'm begging anybody with questions about was I the asshole in this situation and it's a kink thing, please go use that, because if that got updated more often, we would do more specific Am I the Assholes questions, post, reaction thing. And then the rest, I was like, oh, these 2 are kind of interesting. I think to me the answer, Am I the Asshole, is clear on both of them, but they have topics I want to discuss. All right.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, but that's not 2 was not enough for an episode. I need the time and the space to cleanse the palate, right? And get out some aggression. So I went searching on Reddit specifically for kinky questions that might have appeared in all kinds of subreddits. Found 3 that were not 5 years old, and decided we'd do those. And then if these go faster than I anticipate, I have a bonus one that I don't love, but I was like, for time, maybe. So it might remain a mystery if we don't get to it.
Okay. And Silent, I think, came with the we've lost our groove.
That was the word I was thinking of, groove. Okay, so here we go. First one.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for being a 53-year-old horny grandma on OnlyFans? So I know. I already know the answer.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I'm 53, a grandma, and I run an OnlyFans because, well, I'm still as wild as ever. Some people say I should, quote, act my age, but honestly, I've never felt sexier, and I love exploring my kinks with people who actually appreciate the experience. The problem? My daughter found out and is absolutely livid, calling it embarrassing and saying I should be baking cookies and not humiliating the family. Meanwhile, I'm over here thinking, who cares? I'm having fun, I'm making money, and I'm not hurting anyone. So, am I the asshole for embracing my sexuality and doing what I love? Or should I just say fuck it and keep enjoying myself? I mean, either way, this person is going to keep doing their thing.
Right.
So,
but I think one, the title, and as you start reading into it, almost immediately, act your age.
Yeah, that's the thing.
When someone tells you to act your age, yes.
I hate that. It's gross. What does that even mean? I've never been this age before. I
Yeah.
don't know how I'm supposed to act. So I'm going to just do my shit and have a good time. And that's the thing. So
who gets to tell you what
Not your kid. Not your kid. Not your kid. Not when everybody's a fucking adult. Like, especially if, because I am becoming this kind of parent, and I hope I will stay this kind of parent. If you're over there as my child, being an adult, doing adult things, and, you know, not asking my fucking opinion, stay out of jail. Don't subtract or add to the population unintentionally. Live your fucking life. So, if the kid can live their fucking life, then the mom should live their fucking life. To me, this one's a gimme. This is an easy one. Of course, the grandma is not an asshole for being on OnlyFans, but I wanted this one because...
And good for them.
Right. It leads to two things. There's the ageist thing of you're too old to be doing something like this. And then there's the family found out and has fucking opinions. And I mean, what would I do if one of the kids found that about us and was mad? How would I respond? I mean, I'd probably go bitch mom mode and be like, do you pay my bills?
Right.
Am I, you know, are you responsible for keeping a roof over my head? Are you the one paying for my assisted living facility? No, shut the fuck up, she says with motherly love. See, and we've gone through not the OnlyFans thing, but we've gone through family finding out and saying judgy shit.
Right.
So that is deeply personal. The question I have is, well, how did daughter find out? Who is trolling OnlyFans and then is going to be like, oh, I found somebody I know, so I should judge them, even though I'm the one looking at shit where I could come across an OnlyFans.
Or okay, and you know, let's backtrack on that.
Sure.
I understand what you're saying right there, but you know, let's give credit where credit is due. Sometimes, you know, you're an OF creator, you know, you're out hawking yourself on social media, okay? And what happens if, you know, something like the Facebook says, oh, we have a
right.
Yeah.
Daughter still chose to click a link. Daughter still chose to go get nosy. Or it was sent to her by somebody else who was being nosy. Either way, there was some nosiness going on. You know, it's not fine in the sense of, oh, that's great, but it is everybody's prerogative to have an opinion on what other people do. But those opinions get to stay inside thoughts. They get to stay in our head as long as those things do not directly impact us, people we care about, our, you know, entire marginalized communities, those kinds of things. Like, grandma is out here shaking what she got, whether she paid for it or nature, and having a good time and making some money and just minded her damn business. Everybody needs to leave grandma alone. And too fucking old. Look, I hope at 53, I'm still like, you know what? I could put my tits on the internet. They're gonna probably still be sweaty, but maybe I could put my tits back on the internet. That to me is like a good thing to, not that everybody should do it, but to want to do it and to have the confidence to just go do it. Like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you don't want to engage with that content, don't pay for it if you don't want to see it. The block button exists, but if you're like, I have an urge and I want to try this and I want to do it, good on you. Go fucking do it. Go fucking do it.
I don't remember the person specifically anymore, but I remember years ago on Tumblr, there was this woman, and I want to say she was either in her late 60s at the time or early 70s. And she was doing some beautiful erotic photography.
When I was reading this question, my thought was, would I go back to OnlyFans? And I would go back to making that kind of content, but I would actually not go to OnlyFans because they're kind of evil. I would go to Fansly. But either way, if you're a grown-ass adult making your own decisions and not negatively impacting anybody with that decision.
Yeah.
And negative impact is not, I think less of you, because that's a you problem, not a them problem.
Correct.
Anyway. Okay. That was an easy one, but
Yeah.
Okay. Is it this one I wanted to do? No. Where? Things got out of hand.
Uh-oh.
There we go. This one. Things got out of order. And once I put them in order in my notes, I like them to stay in my fucking order. Okay. This one's deceiving, so listen all the way.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for considering quitting my dom due to his size? Okay. I, 45 female, am a submissive, married in an ethical non-monogamous arrangement, and play on my own. I've recently started with a new dominant, primarily looking for impact hopping, and it quickly included rough sex. Yay! However, the last time was way less kinky and involved some snuggling and missionary sex, which suddenly brought me head on into the reality that his body frame is very similar to my ex-husband's. Very slight framed compared to my more average size. It didn't bother me so much when there was a flogger between us or a hand on my neck, but this last time, all of a sudden I couldn't erase that similarity from my mind. I don't know if I can get past those memories. Am I the asshole if I end this because I can't do vanilla-ish sex with a man smaller than me? As somebody who outweighs her dom by a good 50, 60 pounds, on the smaller than me thing, I get that. On the you remind me of my ex thing, ooh, yeah, that I get that too. What do you think about this?
It's a hot mess.
It's it is and isn't complicated. I mean,
I know. I mean, I think they're overthinking it.
yes.
Okay. You know, there are certain physical things that remind you of an ex. I think that can happen. But what really matters is the personality. What is the personality like?
I think it comes down to we get to reject or want a potential partner for any number of reasons. And only you as an individual get to decide what is a step too far for you or what is just a trait you just don't want to deal with. If it was like somebody I knew and who trusted me and like they were just asking for my opinion, I would start asking those questions. I'd be like, but what about their personality? Or can you just negotiate that you don't do vanilla sex and you don't want to snuggle, but you're down for impact and rough kinky sex? Would that be an option? But ultimately, if something about a person kind of puts you off and you don't want, you're not inclined to work around it, you shouldn't have to. Do I think she should say something? No. I don't think you tell the person, look, your frame reminds me of my ex-husband and I just can't get that feeling out of my mind. Right? I don't know if you say all that.
No.
I think it's okay to go, hey, look, I've had a good time, but this isn't working for me. Have a nice life. I think that is fine. You know, I think part of it is not always, not everybody, but I think some people get into their head thinking, I'm going to have to tell them why I'm breaking up with them. I have to tell them that they're reminding me of my stinky, stinky ex, and I hate that, right? Like, I mean, you can, I guess, but if it's a thing they can't change about themselves, remember, if no is a complete sentence, then you are not required to go too, like, crazy in-depth on your reasonings for things. As long as you don't, to say, I'm not feeling it anymore, that's the full story, right? They might want to know more, but you're not obligated to tell them. So it's either can you work around it, renegotiate, don't put yourself in that physical position, or end it maturely.
Okay, so let me throw something out to you. Because I remember a certain someone who at one time said they could not see themselves being with someone who is either the same height or shorter than them.
Right. Also, I remember somebody saying they could not be with somebody who had children again. The difference was there was enough connecting us and enough we liked about one another and enough that made it something that was not insurmountable. Each individual gets to decide for themselves, is this too much and I can't work through it, or could I work past it? Could I like get over it, adjust, whatever. Yeah. I'm going to tell a bestie if they're having a good fucking time with somebody, look, I'm going to maybe just take a beat and think about all the good shit, right? Yeah, I'm going to, with the influence I have over somebody I care about and I know who they are and I know like what they've been through, you know what I mean? I might urge that. But as a general principle, if you don't vibe with somebody, you don't fucking vibe with them. It doesn't matter if I think the reason is, I won't say silly, I don't want to like minimize this person's situation, but like if I would not find that a thing to stop me, you know what I mean? Like, me personally, because we've done it, each of us, there's enough good there that was me having my own internal misogyny, fat phobia, like pick a thing as why I couldn't handle, somebody shorter and smaller than me. This person is getting the reminder of their ex, and I'm going to be like, ooh, how did that ex situation go?
Yeah.
Is this a traumatic reminder? Is this a disgust, distaste, I hate this, get this feeling away from me? I'm not going to guilt somebody into saying you got to get over that, They're not the asshole. To me, they're not the asshole for having that feeling and thinking, maybe I can't do this anymore. What would make them the asshole is if they say to this person, you're way too fucking short and it's creeping me out. Like, that's a thing they literally cannot fix about themselves. So why would you be shitty and tell them what's, air quote, horrible about them, right? That is what would make them the asshole. Okay. What do you think?
I after hearing you explain it like that, yes, I have to agree.
After I bully you into seeing my point of view, sorry. Yeah. I feel passionately about things, y'all. Oh, God. Okay. This one, the commenters on this one is 9 months ago, and it is from the actual Am I the Asshole subreddit. Some people were like, I think it's fake, and some people were like, I think we don't get the whole story. I had initial thoughts, and then I read the comments, and sometimes that's dangerous. So here we go.
All right.
Am I the asshole for accidentally revealing my cousin's BDSM collection? Last weekend, I was at my cousin Dave's place for a family barbecue. Everything was fine until Dave asked me to grab some extra chairs from his basement. I head down there and accidentally knock over a box. Out spills a bunch of BDSM gear and some pretty explicit stuff. I'm talking whips, cuffs, masks, ball gags, the whole shebang. I quickly try to shove it all back in, but not before Dave walks in and sees what happened. He completely flips out, screaming about how I invaded his privacy and ruined everything. He's yelling that I've exposed his private collection to the whole family, even though I didn't tell anyone. But he was so loud that a few family members came over to see what the hell was going on, and now they're all curious and asking questions. Dave stumbles over his words, but pretty much exposed himself while I just stood there shocked. Dave hasn't spoken to me since and has been going on about how I'm a terrible person for snooping around his stuff, even though he's the one who sent me down there. Some family members think Dave is being ridiculous and needs to chill, while others are saying I should have been more careful. A lot of whispers going on within the family. I think some of them know what was in there and some don't. He's posting passive-aggressive things on social media about boundaries and respect, and I'm getting all these angry texts from Dave about how I've destroyed his reputation and how he can never look at me the same way again. I honestly feel terrible, but it was an accident. Am I the asshole for accidentally revealing my cousin's BDSM collection? I honestly don't know what to do because I cannot undo the accident.
Yeah. No, they're not the asshole.
No, they're not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Taking that at face value, no, they're not the asshole.
Yeah, I mean, going by the title, it almost sounds like they outed them, but that is absolutely not the case.
No, they outed themselves by freaking out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I think, what was his name? Dave?
Dave, yeah.
Yeah, Dave's the
Dave
asshole.
Now, yeah, the passive-aggressive stuff.
Absolutely.
That stuff, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I can understand panic making you behave in ways that are not your best self. I've also absolutely seen moments in life where your agitation about a thing, your fear of a thing is what actually brings on the thing you're afraid of, right? I read fiction, especially the time travel stuff. I know. And I clocked this as being like, first I was like, okay, this is a person with high anxiety who responds in anger and gets loud when they panic, which is a thing that can happen to some people. And then I had the thought, and then I went looking at the comments because I wanted to see what other people thought. I was like, wait, was it an accident? Or was he really snooping? And now I got to make myself, it just fell over and I was just trying to put it away. How, you got sent for chairs and it was 20 minutes later before there's details we'll never get to know.
Right.
But that would alter my perception because on its face, that feels like a really big reaction. you know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that people cannot unintentionally have big reactions that fuck themselves over. That absolutely is true, but it's like, I mean, it was already in the basement. That's another thing that I was like, why is your toy box in the basement, but it's not a basement for playing, right? Like, is it, so then was it a thing that you were no longer doing but you don't want to throw it away? You just stored it away?
You're taking a break.
Maybe. I know. I would desperately like to know.
I know there is
details.
A lot of
unknowns
in this.
To me, it's a little too simplistic of a story. So, okay, what isn't being said? Why would he have such, like, is this how Dave reacts to everything that stresses him out? Okay, that's his personality and he fucked himself over.
Yeah.
Was something else going on? Is there animosity between these two so Dave automatically thinks the worst? Has some shit gone down in the past where Dave is not really reacting to this moment? He's triggered and he's reacting to everything else.
Yeah.
This is why these questions are hard, because I have questions. So how can I give you
questions about the questions?
Right, right. You would get a better answer from me. I would know if I felt like I was correct or not in my assessment if I could have more context and details. So yeah, based on the on its face, take it it's your face value. No, he's not the asshole. Dave fucked himself over. Dave might want to work on that. But also, I'm giving a little side eye. Yeah. Where are you at?
I get it. Yeah, the whole thing. It's too vague to really, you know.
I know, but I feel like I'm bullying you into agreeing with me. Okay. Here we go. Next one. Okay. This one is long.
I see that.
And don't take the title at face value.
Oh, God. Another one.
This one's from 10 months ago, so it's still within the past year. Am I the asshole for kink shaming my girlfriend? This is a throwaway because some of my friends know my Reddit username. Okay. I first met my girlfriend on Hinge a little over a year ago, and for the first 6 months, everything was perfect. She told me early into the relationship that she was into BDSM and specifically into dom-sub dynamics. I'm also pretty kinky, so I told her this was no problem and I'd be happy to do this with her. However, I was thinking this dynamic would be something purely sexual and we would be a normal couple outside of the bedroom. I'm going to give a little side eye. A normal couple? Really? Okay. This is how it started, and the sex was fantastic, but then gradually it seeped into our public lives too. It started with her asking how I would feel about her wearing a collar when we were out together. I told her that I would be uncomfortable if she was doing it for my sake, but I wasn't going to tell her what she was and wasn't allowed to wear. She sulked for a bit after this, but it didn't seem to bother her too much. Next, she sent me a video from some BDSM TikTok account where a woman was demonstrating how her dom had loads of hand signals which he used to order her around in public without people noticing. She said that if I was uncomfortable with people seeing the collar, then this would be better because nobody would know what was happening. I didn't want another argument, so I just said that I would watch the video and think about it. In hindsight, I think I should have just shut her down here because after this, she started suggesting more and more extreme things. Her next request was that I should be in control of aspects of her life, such as when she eats, drinks, and sleeps. She wants me to tell her what and when to eat and drink, as well as when she should go to sleep and when she wakes up. I told her I didn't want to do this, but instead of dropping it, instead, she constantly messages me asking for my permission for everything, which is honestly really tiring and annoying. I work in a high-pressure job, and it feels like not only do I have to manage my own life, I am also in charge of hers as well. Whilst all of this was happening, she also started adopting an extremely bratty persona in the bedroom. I'm okay with this occasionally, but literally every time we have sex, she is adopting a weird juvenile persona where she acts like she isn't interested and she wants me to argue with her for ages and even physically wrestle her until she submits, and then we have sex. I have told her multiple times that I absolutely hate this, and she'll stop for a couple of days and then gradually start doing it again. This all culminated when last week I was having an extremely busy and stressful day at work, and she was blowing up my phone all day asking for my permission to do things. After work, I went to her place for dinner, and later that night when we were going to have sex, her bratty persona was back in full force. I was exhausted and not in a very good mood, so I just told her that I wasn't going to argue with her or play her games. We can either have sex like normal couples do, or I'm going to sleep. He needs to stop with the normal word, but I get his point. This really pissed her off, and she started shouting at me, saying that she never would have dated me if she knew I was a baby dom, along with bringing up some other insecurities and things I had confided in her about. At this point, I was completely done, and I just told her she can apologize tomorrow, or else we're finished, and then I went home. I turned my phone off because she kept calling me, and then the next day I had loads of messages from her friends saying that I was being abusive and kink-shaming her. I don't think I'm kink-shaming her because although I was up for the sexual side, I never agreed or wanted for it to take over our entire relationship. Her friends are calling me an asshole because they say that a dom-sub relationship can't just be in the bedroom. It has to be the focus of the entire relationship. Disagree! At this point, I've had so many of her friends message me saying I'm in the wrong. I don't know if I'm the one being unreasonable anymore. So am I the asshole for kink shaming? Let's answer that because I think that's an easy one for both of us. No, in no world are you the asshole.
No.
She's the fucking asshole.
Right.
God damn.
She seems to be the problem. It seems like she has a tendency of just springing things on them.
Yes.
Without
and
talking
ignoring.
about it. Yeah, without talking about it, without negotiating anything, and so, she's got some of the red flags in this one.
Yeah, that's a kink dispenser. I'm ignoring your no and I don't want to.
Right.
Do I think he could have been more direct, more forceful? Maybe, but it also seems like it didn't matter because even when he was super direct, according to his story, she freaking ignored him.
And I think there is a fair bit of incompatibility.
Oh yeah, completely incompatible.
Yeah. Obviously it seems that she wants to be micromanaged.
And she wants to a dom who'll take her bratty side and like
right.
Yes.
So he's not into that. He they said so
clearly.
So there's definitely an incompatibility. Mm-hmm.
If it's let's look back and what can we learn from this for him, I would say the moment your partner says, hey, I want to do this thing in the bedroom, do not assume you know what they mean. You need to be very explicit and talk about it and go, this is what I think it means. What do you think it means? And what do we want to do together? That was a hindsight's 2020. Let's do things better for the next time lesson. Fucking talk about it and get into the details and don't assume. Because he did a lot of assuming, using words like normal. Yeah. Because, to him, kink is like out there and like not his main experience, even though he's air quote kinky. Like if this was a person who's like, I'm a kinkster, I'm big in the community, and using terminology like that, I'd be very annoyed. This to me is more of an education and normalization thing. Like I'm just not used to being around it, so to me it is not normal. But also a normal relationship. Like, oh, there's parts I'm like, I don't like that. I want to know what the hell she told her friends. For them to come out
at him like that. Yeah.
Because it does not sound like she was like, look, I tried to get him to be the dom of my dreams and he just wouldn't. And then he, now we're fighting. Sounds more like he didn't like that I was a brat and he, made me feel bad about it.
I mean, for them to call him out and say he's abusive.
Yes, exactly. Because quite frankly, she was abusive.
Right.
He was saying, maybe not as clearly as I would recommend, not as clearly as maybe he needed to, but he was saying no. He was saying, I don't want this. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. And she was like, I'm going to ignore you and try it again anyway.
Yeah. I know. And that's the thing too. Doesn't matter which side of the slash you were on. No means no. And it's a complete sentence. Either way, so...
Yeah, what I'd be curious about is either how she took it versus how she explained it to her friends.
Right.
Because for his rejection to be automatically deemed kink shaming means either she was under the very mistaken impression that no matter what kind of submissive she was or wants to be, that her partner should just accept her and want that too automatically, and or she told a slight deviation on the actual facts of the case to make herself look better for her friends. Like, how self-aware was she? Did she realize she was crossing boundaries and ignoring limits and doing what the fuck she wanted, but you can't admit that to your friends because then you look like the shitty person you are? Was she that self-aware and just changed the story? Or Did she rewrite that story in her head and go, oh, I'm being rejected because, he doesn't like this kink and it's me and not the kink he doesn't want? Well, at this point, it's both of you. He didn't want the kink and he does not want you. And you did that to yourself. So no, he's not the asshole. Do I, think that there's some things he could have a better understanding of? Sure. But that's like, that's so low on the totem pole of issues. And Silent asked in the live chat, and I thought the same thing. I would love to know how this guy defines kinky.
Right.
Because that's another thing. We don't all define it the same way.
Right.
And just assuming that you can say kinky to one another and you both know what you're talking about. So wrong. If he's like, I want to call you names and choke you and pull your hair during sex. And she's like, actually, I want you to put me on my knees and collar me and lead me around. It's such wild ends of a spectrum. So there was that one. And this is the last technical one. Okay. And then we'll decide if you want the mystery one that was not that good, but this one.
My goodness.
This one is only from 4 months ago.
Oh, dear.
And it was from the AITA, Am I the Asshole subreddit. There's multiples these days. So, am I the asshole for throwing away the key of my ex's adult cage? Cock cage, if you want to make sure you know. Okay. I, female 25, was dating my ex, male 30, for 2 years. Before anyone mentions the age gap, I was into it and pursued him first. We met on Tinder, and our relationship started off as simply sexual, as we both had some kinks we wanted to try out and did not want a serious relationship. This eventually turned into us dating as we realized we wanted to spend all of our time together. Our relationship was non-monogamous as we both are sex positive and non-traditional. The only boundary we had was that we must use protection and we do not lie about our flings or relationship dynamic. Fast forward 2 years and things were going great. I just moved in with him and we made new rules where we do not bring any of our flings home. It was amazing until yesterday. My ex, let's call him Jay, left his phone out while he took a shower and I got curious. I ended up finding out that he was on Grindr and was messaging numerous people. Understand that Jay and I are very kinky, but I did not know he was into men at all. This made me very upset as I was completely unaware and I felt like he was keeping secrets from me. He should know I wouldn't care if he was bi, as I'm queer myself and am very LGBTQ friendly. I started reading the messages on Grindr and found that he had a whole other side of his life that he didn't show me. The messages and pictures he was sending these men were unlike anything I'd seen from him. I'm not going to lie, it hurt me a lot that he kept this from me. While he may not have broken any of our rules, I felt like he was cheating on me by keeping all this a secret. This sent me into a spiral and I started crying. I decided then that we should break up and I started packing immediately. We had recently moved in together only a week prior, so I could easily grab most of my things. I was packed within 20 minutes. In a rage, I left his phone open to his Grindr messages on his pillow and left without saying anything. Here is where I might be the asshole. Really? Here's where you might be the asshole? Before Jay took a shower, he had a penis cage on. Something we liked to do in our relationship was to put him in a penis cage and give me the key. This meant I could at times control when he got erect and he would be more submissive to me. He would just keep it on for one day at a time. Since we're poly, I did not want to control him every day. In the heat of the moment yesterday, I was so angry that I took the key with me and threw it away as I was leaving his apartment. This left Jay in a cage with no way to open it. At the time, I was so mad and felt like he cheated on me, so I think my actions were justified. However, after one day, I'm feeling a little bad. Jay has tried to call me and has kept texting me asking what's wrong. I told him that we are over because of his secrets. He says he loves me and is sorry that he never told me he was bi, but I do not think that's enough. He also mentioned coming by my parents' place where I slept last night to pick up the cage key and drop off some of my cosmetic items from the bathroom. I texted him that I threw it away in his apartment's dumpster and that we can meet up later. This is when he called me and left a voicemail yelling, saying that it's the only key and that the dumpster was emptied this morning. After a couple hours, he sent me a photo of all my makeup in the same dumpster I told him I threw the key in. I have not responded as I am pissed. He could get a new key on Amazon for like $20, but my makeup was over $100 altogether. Am I the asshole for throwing away the key to my ex-boyfriend's penis cage? TLDR, too long didn't read. I threw away the key to my boyfriend's penis cage, trapping him because I found out he was on Grindr. Update, Jay just sent me a text saying he got the cage off and never wants to see me again. I guess this is the end. You think?
Yeah, right? I kind of don't blame him.
Woo! I'm going to go, yes, you're the fucking asshole here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. What are your thoughts?
You know, yeah, she's a hot mess.
Yeah, she is.
You know, I don't know. I've got so many mixed emotions with that whole thing to a certain extent. You know, because she was kind of wrong for going through his phone.
To me, she was immediately wrong. You do not say, we're super happy, I'm totally in love. Go looking through the phone, like, without permission. Like, with the amount of detail this person gave us, one would assume she'd go, I had permission, or I didn't have permission. And I'm thinking, if you don't tell us, maybe you did not have explicit permission to go through somebody's phone.
You and I,
we hand each other our phones all the time.
We hand, you know, you can look in my stuff anytime you want. You go in my phone.
We know each other's codes.
Right. You know, you go in my email. So, you know, I don't care.
The only place that seems to make you nervous is my purse.
Yeah.
Like it's like a black hole mystery and you are afraid to put your hand in there.
So, you know, throwing away the key, that was a bitch move.
That was a bitch move. Because unless she, like, somebody said in the live chat, these keys tend to be interchangeable. You really can get another one. Did she know that and assumed he knew that? I'm pretty sure if I had never been locked unwillingly into something, that would not be my first thought. I probably would panic and have to be reminded, you know, because that was not what you were expecting. Everything is now a mystery. I come out of the shower, the girlfriend's gone. I can't take my dick out of a cage.
Right.
My phone is on my pillow. I don't know why. Like,
you know, and yet on the same hand, you know, or on the other side of the thing, you know, you're practicing ethical non-monogamy, okay, or, you know, non-monogamy, however you want to poly, and yet he's on a dating site and she knows nothing about it.
But here's the thing. They had rules. She stated the explicit. There was a lot of info. I understand if you don't remember. Let me go back to them. Originally, the only boundary we had was that we must use protection and we do not lie about our flings or relationship dynamic, okay? Lying means you have to ask about them, right? Or that you have to be in a conversation about them.
So omission.
A lie of omission, maybe. And I have thoughts about that, so let me get there. Okay, so then they move in together, and the new rule is that they don't bring the flings home. Oh, that's a fair rule. And she even says, he may not have broken any of our rules. Here's what, now, I cannot speak to how I might feel if an important part of my partner's identity was not revealed to me, not because, like, they owe me information, but, like, yeah, I might, maybe I would have this thing of, why couldn't you tell me? But that's the thing on my mind. Well, what is it about her that he didn't feel like he could tell her?
Right. I mean, when we first got together, I was a little hesitant to tell you I was bi, but that's because I had, in the past, when I had talked to some people and told them, you know, I was hit by some very judgmental stuff. And that made me a little gun shy.
Right. But here's the thing. Maybe he went through that. And everybody has their own unique experience. No group is a monolith. But I cannot understand how somebody who can say, I'm queer, I'm part of the LGBTQ community, would not understand that maybe somebody's not ready to tell you something. Right. So, one, that could absolutely be it. They just weren't ready. They had past experiences like you did. They were just like figuring their shit out, whatever. But after 2 years, I'm going to go back to, what was it about that partner that he was like, it's been 2 years, we're living together, and I still can't tell you. Them.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering if throwing away the cock cage key was just one in a string of many.
Yeah.
red flag kind of behaviors. Look, I'm going to piss somebody off with this, and I know that not everybody sees it this way, and that is okay. I do not trust the things that happen in anger. I do not trust when somebody goes, I didn't really mean it. Because here's the thing. Here's how my brain works, and here's how I see it. You are welcome to see it differently. If you said it when you were angry, also for when you're drunk, it means it was in your goddamn head. You knew it was a weapon to be used, or you were thinking it at some point. Because how could it even fucking be? Like, I could get so mad at you, and there are things that would never even fucking occur to me to say that I know you've heard from other partners. Like, I just would never say it, because there's no point in my life with you that sits in my brain. Even when I'm cranky with you. We had a conversation the other day about we get to think anything we want to think, but some things we think should stay inside thoughts, because I did not want to hear that, even though I'm not going to police what he fucking thinks. So, that's the other thing. Like, there's layers to this. Somebody said in live chat, and I completely agree, could absolutely have just left that fucking key there. And quite frankly, if you wanted to make a bigger statement, phone open to Grindr, key on next top to it, right? Like, here, have it. I don't want this anymore. But that's the other thing. If this is how they responded in this situation, how do they respond to other stressors or points where they're angry with their partner? And so therefore, was there a reason their partner never felt safe telling them they were bi? If it was a safety thing. I don't want to assume that. It could just be, I'm not used to talking about that. It's always been a thing I kept. Like, there's all kinds of reasons. I'm not going to try and dictate what those reasons are. But I'm just saying, I think if you get this upset at this, when you can say, none of the rules were broken, yes, I was hurt, you could be hurt. Like, I could see that. If 10 years in, I found out something new about you that you had purposely kept from me because you did not feel comfortable or safe to tell me, I would be upset. Not lock your dick in a cage and run out the door upset, but that would maybe I'm an old lady. Part of me would be like, what have I done to make it so he couldn't tell me? But I also would be like, he's just walked around this life with me, and there's a major part of him I don't know about. It would upset me. Like, I would be sad, or I would be confused, or I'd have a feeling about it. However, would I immediately blow up the whole fucking relationship over it?
Well, you know what? Here, I'm going to say something, and to me, this is what I notice about in all this. Okay, my outlook on her is not all that favorable.
Oh no. God.
Okay, no. And here is why. Here, from my perspective, she values her makeup more than him.
Oh God, yeah. She was like, keep your dick locked up in a cage for a few days. Not my problem.
But my fucking makeup, $100 worth of makeup, you threw it away. What the hell?
Right.
That speaks volumes.
Yes. And it's funny. I don't think it's in my nature to be genuinely petty, mostly because I have issues I should go to therapy about. And so sometimes, at other times, when I see something like they broke my $20 thing, so I broke their $50 thing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Usually, I get a little like, was that the best way to handle that? I don't, because I know how I would be. This was one of those times I read it, and for like, my knee jerk was, oh, and then I went, no, bitch, you literally, like, I don't know anything about this cage. I don't know how, like, was it a good one where, like, it was stainless steel and so you could clean around it and it wouldn't be the worst thing? Was it ill-fitting? Was it uncomfortable? Was it a shit one off of fucking Amazon and he could have gotten, like, gangrene on his fucking dick? No. The blew up over a thing. Tossed the key. Didn't tell him for a while.
Right.
Did not tell him for a while at all.
I don't know enough about these things because I've never been in that. But I would think, just like anything else, there is a limit to having it on. I don't know.
I don't know for a fact. I have definitely seen people online talk about wearing their cage for like literal days or weeks. But also there are people who will take things to the edge of risk and safety.
True.
So I don't actually know. I do quite frankly assume that there's a better than good chance if you bought it off of someplace like Amazon. it might be made from like a reputable company who's got to sell and they're on Amazon, but it could also like be shit and crap and not a good one because maybe it was cheap or whatever. Like could get another key for $20. Like if you paid $20 for your cock cage, I'm going to assume it probably is not built to last. But yeah, like this chick is like all the red flags, yeah. Because we have this great relationship, but I see a thing that bothers me and my first reaction is to storm out, break up, move out. Like, then it wasn't that great of a relationship. It couldn't have been, because it was a great relationship that you desperately wanted to keep. You might storm into the bathroom while he's in the shower and be like, what the fuck is this? You might cry your eyeballs out. Maybe you leave for a little while to go calm down, go talk to a friend, whatever you're going to do. But you come the fuck back and be like, what? Like, I just,
I would love for somebody in our audience to reach out to me and explain to me things about the cock cages.
I'm curious.
Because you know, a lot of this conversation, even people in the chat, you know, like, yeah, is there a time limit? I mean, I see things online with these people talking about, you know, oh, my mistress locked me up for a month, you know, I'm 30 days in the cage. And I'm thinking, like, but, you know, how do they go to the bathroom?
Oh, there are some that are built. Like, you could still pee, and you could still, like, get water and soap in there. Yeah. It depends on the kind. Yeah. I mean, it really does depend on the kind. I've even read articles about somebody who accidentally, and then some people who have intentionally, gone through airport security wearing their cage. And the accidental... It was a stainless steel one, and the purposeful, it was like a plastic something or a silicone something that wouldn't like make the radar go off or whatever. Yeah. But the guy who accidentally did it, that was an uncomfortable moment for everybody involved. Yeah. So like, yeah, here's when you said you want somebody to reach out to you and explain cock cages, and I think that's great, and please feel free to reach out to them. Here's what was my immediate thought. There's not a submissive fucking bone in your body. There might be bottom energy, but there's not submissive energy in your body. But you are a fucking hedonist who loves to try new shit. And I immediately thought, is he going to try a cock cage just to see what it feels like, just to get himself all worked up, and then have fun, take the fucker off and like have fun with it?
One never knows.
I could see you doing it.
You know me too well.
I could see you doing it. Just for the sensorial experience of it. Yeah. Also, I can imagine, I'm curious, I assume this, tell me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. If you had a partner that wanted to be and you were willing to put them in a cock cage, I can see you at least kind of trying it on to be like, how does this fucking thing even work? Well, like, not wearing it long term, but like...
be curious about it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just like I you know, try floggers, I try paddles on myself. You know, it helps me understand.
I just think the sensory and pleasure seeking part of you would be like, I'll just wear this shit for like a couple hours. Let's see what happens.
The hedonist side of me, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've worn other things in public that only I clocked. And still, this is bottom energy, sure. Submissive, no, because guess who was not allowed to touch the remote control as he was traveling forth in this world? He wasn't giving me control of it. So, she's the asshole here for probably all kinds of reasons. You know, I'm not usually vindictive, vengeful, want revenge, or petty. But in this case, for all that I can imagine was the history of their relationship, yeah, I don't blame him for fucking throwing her makeup out after literally keeping him locked in an item for, you know, an unknown at that point amount of time that it would have been.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that, you know, no. He was, as far as I'm concerned, with just from reading everything that's gone on, he was well within his rights.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. And... okay. So, do you want to try the one that I was like, meh?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I was like, hey, maybe it leads to a cool conversation.
Okay.
But it was like, meh. What you got?
Tell you what, just get some filler for a second.
Okay. This is filler. I'm giving filler. JB has walked away. Filler, filler, filler. This is filler.
Oh, you're too funny.
I know. I'm fucking hilarious. Y'all, he's in the room, but he's walked away and has got something he needs to do, apparently. But, like, it's not like he got up and let Lola in or out, and then in and then out, and then in and then out again.
She's been like a yo-yo today.
And yet, she is taking it, well, she's looking like she's taking a nap. Don't worry, one ear is up so she can listen. Yeah, so she's our best good girl, but man, it's in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out today.
It's feeling a little stuffy in here.
Oh, thank you. We are hitting Florida spring, which is like just Florida summer light. Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the asshole for not fully covering up bruises? I, 21 female, now let me start at the top because I feel this. I feel like this is kind of a dumb argument, but I'm second guessing myself. Okay. I, 21 female, have some high impact hobbies, fighting sports, and I'm exploring kink safely. So I usually have bruises at any given time. For the kink bruises, I do try to make sure that they stay in bathing suit areas or places normally covered by clothing, since they're often more identifiable, but it's not always possible between the two pastimes. If anyone asks, they're sports bruises. It's never really been a problem before now, except for when I dress out at the gym. Much love to the older ladies who kindly but mistakenly slipped me domestic violence crisis numbers and asked if I need to talk. They're doing the Lord's work. Yes, they are. Yeah. It's really hot where I live right now, like worse than usual this year, so I live in shorts and tank tops when not at work. All my friends know what's up and aren't bothered by it, so when we're hanging out, I don't always go to the extra trouble to cover up. The one exception is Anna, 22 female. Anna found out by accident through someone else that I'm into kink and has been really weird and snide about it ever since. I just came off a really great tournament weekend, so I'm pretty marked up. My apartment complex has a pool, so I and some friends who live in the same complex were hanging out and cooling off yesterday evening. Anna showed up with one of them and flipped her shit when she saw me, saying that I'm disgusting for flaunting my bruises and that I'm re-traumatizing abuse survivors by not being fully covered up. She left in a huff when I argued that I'm not exactly skimpily dressed in a one-piece swimsuit, and that she knows full well these are sports bruises, given that I posted a video of my Final Four bout to the group chat on Sunday. Since then, she's been demanding an apology for being exposed to my kink without consent. Some of the friends think I should apologize to shut her up, while others think she's nuts. I just don't think existing in public with bruises is anything to apologize for. Y'all tell me. She's nuts. No, maybe nuts is unkind, but she's fucking nuts. What the hell? Sorry, I needed to say that. What do you think, Daddy? It's unkind of me to call her nuts, but also,
well,
she's judgy.
You know, and that's the thing I was thinking about. You know what? I almost want to say to one aspect that, you know, well, Anna kind of does have a point. But
she only has a point because she knows and she doesn't approve of the kink.
Yeah.
Being exposed to the kink will be watching this chick get her bruises.
Right.
Or knowing that every single bruise on her body is a kink thing and that it's being actively talked about, where Anna clearly is not feeling comfortable. But she hasn't seemed to have spoken up that she's uncomfortable either. Yeah. She's just being judgmental.
Well, and that's the thing.
Passive aggressive.
Exactly. You know, reading how she worded her thing, you know, I mean, if it was somebody who's like, you know, be like, you know, I see you got those bruises. I know, you know, they could be from one or the other thing, but don't you think showing that might affect some people in some way? You know, I don't...
That's a hard one. If I know for a fact that I'm going to be in spaces or I'm with a group of people and I'm like moderately sure that somebody, especially somebody I know and care about, is triggered by it, I'm going to do my fucking best to cover it up. If I don't want to have to explain it, which she clearly talks about, cover up. But if she's trying to keep kink bruises in swimsuit areas so that nobody has to see that, that's the responsibility she bears to the public, quite frankly. And the other bruises are from sports.
Right.
Then what the little old ladies at the gym do, perfect, spot on. That's what we should all do if we are uncertain. Are you okay? Do you need help? Let a person go, yeah, I got this doing MMA. I got this doing this. I got the, you don't tell anybody. Hey, sports bruises, that's a great excuse for kinksters who do not play sports, but sometimes still get bruised where other people can see them. I want to always be sensitive to other people's triggers, because I have my own and we all have our things, and man, a trigger can fuck you up. And so when at certain times and in certain spaces, when you can basically be guaranteed that there is somebody in your vicinity who is directly interacting with you, that they might be triggered by this, then yes, for me, as a sense of personal responsibility, I'm going to do my best to minimize those triggers. However, we cannot walk through public life worried that the random person across the parking lot saw something. I don't want them to be triggered. I don't want the motherfucker who did it to them, that triggered them, to have done it to them, right? But if I only can bear so much personal responsibility, and the rest of the time I just gotta fucking live my life.
I know.
You know, like, it would be a little bit different if the marks and bruises were like, you choked me out and I got, like, cuff burns on my wrists. I would probably not go out for a little bit, because now I look like a kidnap victim. Like, people are gonna have questions.
Right.
But, like, what Anna could have done was said, I am really uncomfortable knowing that some of these bruises are from kink. Maybe invited the conversation. That would be up to this person, how much they wanted to talk to this person. But then at that point, if that person is the only one in the group who has a problem with it, then that person hangs out with the other people in other ways. You remove yourself from the situation if you're the only fucking one in the group that doesn't like it. That's your responsibility, I think. Now, there will be times where you cannot remove yourself, and that's where we use our big kid voices, and we go, hey, I am so uncomfortable. I know I'm probably asking a lot, blah, 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 right? But she was basically at home at a pool on a hot day. What is she supposed to do? Because one person who never fucking talked to her is super sensitive and judgmental about kink. Because that was not her saying, I am triggered. That was her going, somebody could be triggered. How dare you?
Right.
This is gross. This is awful. You're a bad person because you do kink.
Yeah.
Now everybody has to, like, find their own path. If for you, you're like, I'm not going to do anything I think might even trigger a stranger. I'm going to watch myself. I support that. And if I'm, we all have our blind spots. I don't know what I don't know. If I'm thinking about it, it's why when I go to the doctor's office, I try not to wear anything with a scent, because I had one doctor's office say, oh, by the way, don't come in here with perfume on, because
it could affect other patients.
We have people with allergies, and I think it was an allergy specialist who said it, right? And that, for me, meant I now don't go to a place of medical anything wearing a lot of scent or any scent on me if I can help it, because now I'm aware of those things. So accommodating strangers, I think, is wonderful, but sometimes we just fucking exist.
Yeah.
And I don't think she was being irresponsible by existing with a group who understood what they were seeing and a willingness to talk about. If somebody came up and said, "What are you okay? What happened to you?" Yeah.
I mean, there's you could look at this in so many different ways.
And I think everybody's entitled to have their own response and how they would behave in that situation. Absolutely.
I mean, in this person's case, the bruises are not all from kink.
And most of them in this situation, they just had a match. They would be covered in bruises.
Right. And then like I say, you look at it from different things. It's like, in a way, you could say, well, did other people consent to seeing those kind of things? So it's.
And yet, think about this. We walk around in public. I have to see shit I didn't consent to all the time. Politics in America exists. I didn't consent to that shit. Right? We walk around in life and we see people doing shit, and as long as it's not harmful or illegal, and harmful by whatever standard you have for that, I watch people walk down the fucking sidewalks with MAGA hats on. I'm offended, but I don't tell them to take it off. You know what I mean? There's a line. There is really a line. If she was being paraded down the road by her dom, whipping her at the back, yeah, that's a problem. I'm going to say that's public kink. Stop that shit. That's irresponsible. But I'm existing in my body, and my body happens to have bruises. I mean, sometimes bruises, not in this person's situation. They have a very specific situation.
Right.
But there are people who bruise because you touched them a little too hard. They have like whether it's chronic conditions or like skin stuff or whatever. Right. I mean, should they have to walk around all the time worried and cover themselves up? Like, everybody has their own individual line. I'm not trying to tell anybody what Daddy, I'm not trying to tell you what your line is. Like, if you're like, hell no, that's too far from me, I'm going to cover that up. I support that. But I'm not going to judge somebody else who is like, all my friends know. I have a reasonable explanation. I'm at home. Yes, the public space. And they're not engaging in the thing that causes bruises. True. And they do what so many kinksters do. They have a response for when it is a kink bruise that they couldn't hide. It's a sports bruise. It's the same reason when people ask me what I do for a living, I'm like, I'm a freelance writer who writes about business. We know that's bullshit. But I'm not inviting total strangers into that
space. Yeah,
Neither is this person.
Yeah.
Neither is this person.
Yep. Yeah.
Junie brought up a good thing in the live chat. It was not okay for one friend to out her to another friend. Because maybe she didn't tell Anna the friend because she knew Anna could not handle it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we don't tell people shit because we know they're not the one to tell. We might not know why they're not the one to tell, but we know. Don't tell that one this thing.
Right.
They will not handle it well. And this is proof. But I'm still like... I think it's because I've been reading a lot of questions, and we did one for an episode where the person asking the question is like in their 20s, and so I'm officially at an age I could be your mama, and so I'm going full on mom with some of this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at their age. There's a lot of growth and wisdom hopefully to come in their future.
Right.
This is how I don't want 21-year-olds to behave. I think you were capable of more maturity, but I'm also not surprised by it. Mm-hmm. You know, I want to tell the original poster, I get why you were second guessing it. Don't second guess yourself. You're doing okay. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for maybe I can be more careful in the future with blah, 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 right? Of course. Mm-hmm. But they were not doing something wrong by just existing in their body and it happened to have bruises on it. I mean, that would be like telling a victim you should not go out because somebody else might see you in your bruises. I don't like that either. That's not a good one either. Like, I think to be a responsible citizen in the world, if you are aware of things that can be super psychologically bothering to somebody, if you can minimize it, do. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, sometimes you got to exist in the world, and the world's got to suck. And sometimes you learn better. Over time, you learn more, and then you can choose to do better. And more.
Yeah, true.
So... Silent pointed out, this was the meh question.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Well, I think it was because to me it was not quite directly related to kink. Mm-hmm. It was related to all kinds of other topics, and I was like, meh.
Yeah.
But apparently I felt strongly about that one. I did not bully you into seeing my side of things, did I, Daddy?
Nope.
Okay, good. Mm-mm. You still feel like an autonomous human being with your own fucking opinions on it?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Look. I am too self-aware for my own good, and I know I have one of those strong personalities that is ready and willing to convince the world that I am correct. The thing I actively do is go, wait, your opinion is not the only opinion, which is why I say it so often. One, to reinforce that for y'all, but also to reinforce it to myself. Oh, my God. Okay. I guess we could do a bonus section now. I am so hot. Can we close it and do our thing, and then can I run and get my hair tie?
Yeah.
See, I'll take one time of leaving you by yourself after 5 times of leaving me by myself. Okay.
All right. So we're good?
I don't know. Keep it kinky, y'all. And we'll see you next week. I'll be right back.
Okay. You'll be right back. I'll be here.
When I get back, can I talk to the crickets?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great.
Yes, you can.
I
So, in the meantime, all right, let me set that there. So, okay, here we all are.
Filler, do filler.
Filler, right? I'm filling. No, we're going to do our best to keep it from going sideways. We don't like when things go sideways. So, anywho, as Kayla said, yeah, we're kind of warming up in here. We're sliding into Florida summer. I think we're, about 87 degrees today? 86, 87?
Sauna in here.
Yeah.
I am so
Yeah.
hot. I
Yeah.
did not look in a mirror. I just pulled it back. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it's crept up on us. I'm thinking I was feeling something in the humidity force last night, and that's why I did not sleep. Junie, I wish more people could be filled by JB. I think that the world might enjoy that. I know he would enjoy that. And if he told me about it later, because I don't like to watch, I would enjoy that later. I don't like to watch, but I do like to know. Man, some shit this man has come back from some times out and told me. I'm like, that's what erotica smut is made of. Yes, tell me more. Don't make me watch it, but tell me more. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I think I felt a shift in the temperature force, in the humidity force last night, and that is why I did not sleep. Like I don't sleep well. Like most people don't sleep well. But we have all the techniques in place, all the tricks, all the things we found that work. So I can fall asleep easily. Usually on a bad night, it's usually 20 minutes it takes me to fall asleep. But most nights it's about 10 to 15 minutes. Hour and a half minimum last night. And I love John Brownstone.
Oh, God.
He is the light of my life. He is not leaving this earthly plane without me. But I've never wanted to kick somebody out of a bed so bad. So here's the thing. We have a queen-size bed that's not an awful-size bed. It fits us just perfectly. I am now jonesing for a king or a California king, quite frankly. But what it used to be when we first moved in together, he was always super warm, and I was always so cold. Like, that was the joke. I always had cold hands and cold feet, and I put them on his hot body. Hot in any way you would like to see that. And now we flipped. He is always cold. Y'all, it was hot in this house this morning. He's walking around in his bathrobe, like his fuzzy, like, and his slippers on to cover up. I'm like, I'm sweating just looking at you. So when he loves to snuggle. If you need a cuddle buddy, you need a JB. Because this, not only is he good at cuddling, he fucking loves it. How do I know? Because he latches onto me like a Reese's monkey in the middle of the night. Every night. And sometimes it's real fun because in his sleep, he'll grab a tit, he'll grab my cooch, like he's handsy. But I cannot fall asleep if I'm being touched at all. Like any kind of touch, I cannot fall asleep. And I wake up the moment we made skin-to-skin contact, just like for just a few minutes, because it gets so hot. It's like a boiling point, like just that one spot where we might be touching. And also, when he rolls over to hang off of me like a Reese's monkey, I get, and we measured it because you know I'm a petty bitch, I get literally 8 inches of space. Now, for those of you who can see my physical body, you know there's not a part of my body that can only fit in 8 inches of space. So, when I could not fall asleep last night, it was too hot in the room. Even though I had the fan blowing on me, I felt the air kick on twice. It was not enough because I like to have my it's not a comforter, but like our thicker blanket on, because that's cozy to me and I fall asleep when I'm cozy, but not hot. It's a balance. But it was too hot for that. Every time I pulled the good blanket up, I just start sweating full body. So I tried doing the sheet, but that wasn't enough and it didn't feel right. And my body's like, we don't sleep like this. You can't fall asleep like this. And then twice, I had to push JB to get him back to his side, Both times he eventually rolled over to his other side, huffed and then giggled. He giggles anytime I interact with him in the middle of the night, and yes, he's asleep. He never remembers it. But now he also adds a huff, like, oh. I get it. If I had to be pushed over every night, I might get annoyed in my sleep too. But I'm annoyed in my wake. I'm annoyed with eyes wide open because I just want to lay flat on my back. I want to adjust my pillow. I want nothing and nobody to be touching me so there's no extra hot points on my skin. That's all I want. And I truly did almost get up in the middle of the night and go sit on the couch, but then I knew I would never fall asleep there either because that's the wrong position. I don't sleep well sitting up. It'll kill my neck. I wouldn't be able to move my neck today. And the dog and the cats would be very... Like, I was like, it's bad no matter what the fuck I do. Eventually I fell asleep. But I'm very cranky about it. I'm exhausted. So tired. Y'all, I was so tired. I've barely read my book today because I cannot focus on the words. That is not like me. That is not like me.
Yeah, no. But then again, I did get up at one point during the middle of the night, and I came back to bed. And right where I should be getting into bed, there was a knee.
Trying to get comfortable. I know I'm not like some perfect angel sleeper. The thing is, I'm just awake more than you are. Like, you get up to pee and then you have to come and like, See, you would also like it if I snuggled up to you. You'd be like, oh, this is cozy, comfy. I fall asleep like this. And I'm over here going, oh my God, if I am touched for one more second, I don't care how much I love him, I'm going to scream. So, yeah, Ben, that's kind of where we are. And we don't even normally keep our thermostat at 73 because the temperature outside is really not that awful. So we would have to keep it low to even get the AC to turn on. Doesn't matter. It's still so fucking hot already. And it's already. We're just at the tail end of March. I expected this temperature and this change. Like, it's time. It's a little late, actually. We got a cold spell. Air quote that cold spell. A cool spell. Yeah. Later in March than I would normally have thought we would.
Correct.
So I'm not surprised by it, but I'm also still surprised by it. Because it's like just...
Yeah. So...
Yeah. Lola is not wreaking havoc right now?
Nope, she's over there.
She's moved.
She moved. She's on the floor near her bed.
But not in her bed.
Not in her bed.
No.
She's doing that fake sleeping thing. She's pretending she's sleeping, but her ear is up listening.
Silent asked if we want some of this. It's snowing again. I'm not saying anything concrete because we've not said anything concrete, but I will tell you, JB and I have had serious conversations over the past week or so about which non-southern state we might want to move to, and all of the ones that might work for why we might want to move all have snow.
Yep.
We're not actively planning a move, but we are being aware that there could be reasons we decide that's the right choice.
Yeah, I mean, it's not at the top of my list right now, but if we have to, we have to.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. It's a health and well-being thing. Not I'd like to go live in snow and never leave my house from the first time it snows to the last time it snows. Because y'all know I'm not driving in it. Y'all, I've already halfway given up driving at night. I'm not driving in fucking snow.
Just get me a snowblower. I ain't shoveling no snow no more.
No, you're not allowed. You're not leaving this earthly plane like that. It's not like it's dangerous for people's health of a certain age range to shovel snow. You'll get a snowblower. I'll be your snowblower, but that's a different thing entirely.
Now you just got white down there.
Yeah, of sheer stubbornness, I don't want to leave Florida because I have memories of when Florida was not the Florida that it is today. No. The current reason we're not actively going, I think we'll move, is because the oldest still kind of depends on us. While he's in college, he's got 2 years left. Yeah. If he had like a not quite a big boy job, but like a college big boy job and a car, I could probably make that decision right now.
Yeah.
He does not have either of those things. So since we can be so close, I would prefer to stay close. But there are things in our personal life that could change that decision. And so we're just sitting back and waiting. I did say to JB, I was like, if we do move, I want to go where the cost of living is not Florida cost of living.
Yeah,
like, we don't have income tax, and that's a personal debate on whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing. I just know we don't have personal income tax, and yeah, that's a savings at tax time. Yeah. However, our auto insurance is 5th highest in the nation. Our home insurance is what, 3rd or 4th, maybe 5th in the nation, and going higher. Yeah. One day, the peninsula part of Florida is going to break off and float away into the Atlantic Ocean. So, like, I mean, there's good reasons to maybe not, but
you know, I could go off on it, but I'm not. I'm going to hold my tongue.
I know, because it gets your blood pressure up.
And Rara making a good plug for Virginia there.
Look, I'm volunteering on some Get Out the Vote campaigns for the Virginia primaries and general election, and
we have a special election going on here in Florida. We already went and voted.
We voted. We got to go collect the 19-year-old, bring him home so he can vote. And I don't think I've ever voted in a special election before, mostly because I'm like, why do I care if I vote for this Republican or that Republican? Yeah. They're kind of all the same in our area. I mean, some are worse than others, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not voting on, like, different platforms, right? It's just, so I don't usually go to do special elections. So I've never been to one to see how fast it is to vote.
Yeah.
We are fortunate to have early voting. So they haven't taken that away yet. So yeah, we went on the day early voting opened, and Saturday, the weekends for early voting tend to be pretty fucking crazy for every election I've ever done, but I've never done a special election. So we walked in, there was no line, there was just walk up to the person, get your ballot, and it's one thing on the ballot because it's the special election. I was like, oh, I don't know, let me think real hard on this. I did not have to think real hard on this. Voted for my guy, moved on with my life. So, but yeah, I don't know. Man, Rara is
right. She's making
Rara. You need to go work with the kinky real estate community industry in your state. Yeah. Rara's like, look, we got some houses.
right. We're blue and kink community, you know, sounding
I know. But let's just tell you how, you start looking around. Grass is always greener on the other side. I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm looking around the country going, based on politics and politicians and people I respect and admire, where might I want to live? And when I realized Minnesota was on my list, I was like, that's like half a step from Canada. That's so far north. That's so far north. So I don't know. I've never lived outside of the South in my whole ass life. I've only traveled as north as Baltimore, Maryland, one time. Like, the idea of it, like, y'all know, I'm already an anxious fucking bitch. Like, travel anxiety alone gets me. I'm just... But if we need to, we need to.
I've been a long time removed now, but, grew up in upstate New York.
Which is how you won't want to, but I know you could drive us through snow.
Yeah.
I don't think you could handle my anxiety. You'd have to sedate me, quite frankly. I would be doing home delivery for everything. I'm not going out.
We'd probably have to blindfold you, gag you.
Kinky.
Yeah.
Don't put the 15-year-old in the car, though. Actually, and for all that I'm for health, safety, well-being reasons, we might move. I don't want to move. I don't want to take the 15-year-old away from their therapists. They're amazing therapists. Anyway.
Anywho.
But I'm not going to lie, regardless of why we might consider it, why we may not, whatever. The idea of being somewhere not this hot and humid at this time of year, man.
Yeah, I know. You know, Taishu in the chat was saying how it was 80 degrees today and it's too soon. You know, and he's not over last summer.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of the same either. I'm not over it either, and I am dreading what's ahead.
Yeah, we usually try to work, air quote, more in the summer because it's slower, so we have more time. But this is the year you're like, do you think I could actually work less so I don't have to be out there as much?
Yeah.
I'm like, I could see how we could make that work. Yeah. Because you're not passing out from heat exhaustion on my watch. What the hell?
My big thing that I am not looking forward to is really need to find a way to get the riding mower fixed. Or because I cannot do another summer if the summer is like last year, pushing a mower.
No, you should not.
Not up to that anymore.
No.
Need to become nocturnal, yeah.
Like a bat?
You're right.
I mean, by some definitions, I'm probably an old bat by now. God, I think I just aged myself by even knowing that expression. Anyway.
Yeah.
I kind of want to hang out, but I got stuff I got to go do.
I know, I got stuff
and I don't really have anything to talk about. So I guess we don't need to hang out, but
Yeah, I get it.
I also have to run to the post office, but that is also how I'm going to get a Diet Coke today. So I have to go to the post office.
Yep.
So, anyway, I guess we should go.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everybody, for staying, for being here, especially to the bitter end when it gets weirder than even in the middle. When it's already weird. We will be back next week.
SC, I feel your pain.
Oh, yeah. Orlando is so hot.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we're going to go.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.